are inspired by?
Of course, of course. You know, like I said, I've always been intrigued by real estate, and now learning more about the business and how real estate really works, and how solid it is as an investment. You know, as athletes, we're not taught, especially young Black athletes, we're not taught about investments. We're not taught about real estate. We're not taught about talked about uh, purchasing power and buying power and owning land. Like, so for me, it's something I'm passionate about, because I know how many guys we can help hold on to their money, make more money, you know, do things that they've never thought of doing for their families and leaving legacies for their kids. So for me, it's huge, and I'm super excited. That's something I want to do right now.
Now that's what sets us up for the next conversation. So where you and I precisely met, we were brought together by a incredible human being, one of my dear friends and business associates, who brought us together while you were partnered up and remained so with a man by the name of Ice Cube. And
Right.
for those who don't know, that's not what's in my drink, but that's a dude that actually raps, also an actor, producer, philanthropist, but more importantly, the partner in a league called the Big Three. So tell us a bit about the Big Three and why you're really excited about being involved in it. Tell our friends what it involves, what it looks like, and why it's something to keep an eye on.
So the Big Three it's a dope concept that Q and a few friends of his came up with, where it's 3-on-3 basketball, half court, but all NBA guys, former NBA guys, some that still play, some guys that are still trying to get back in the NBA. So super competitive. And then it's like a fraternity, like all the guys getting together. We all have different things going on in business. So it's an opportunity for us all to kind of lean on each other and pick each other's brains, you know, business-wise, invest together. And it's just like 10 weeks of all-star weekend, but, you know, with the families there. It's just a dope concept, man. It's something that I'm excited to be a part of and grow with, you know, getting to be around Cube and picking his brain as well, like guys like Dr. J, who's my coach, which is crazy, Clyde Drexler, Michael Cooper, like all these guys.
Glide the glide. Like, think about that.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. So just to be around these guys, you know, 10 weeks, 10, 11 weeks, you know, for 3 days at a time, is, I can't even put it into words. Like the knowledge that these guys have, the things they've been through, on the court, off the court, for a young guy like me is priceless.
Awesome. Hey, listen, we're going to open up the lines shortly. I know, Ken, you're going to be watching the lines to watch who is going to be putting up their hand. If you want to put up your hand and ask a question, all you've got to do is, well, raise your hand. Click onto your profile there. And you can raise a hand so we know who wants to ask a question of Robert as we're heading into the bottom half of this conversation. No, Matt, you got a question to go. Hey, Matt, why don't you go ahead and I'm going to see if I can unmute you, and that way you can ask Robert a question. As I want to just make a pause here for a moment to make sure that before I go any further, that we get a couple questions answered. You cool with that, Robert?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Robert, nice to meet you. Richie, I appreciate you having us on here. I mean, you're here every single week, and I appreciate it. Robert, I just had a quick question for you. I'm Matt, by the way. I'm from New Jersey. I actually had a buddy of mine that just messaged me, and he said he lived in the same apartment complex as you in Miami. I was like, no way, small world. But I just have a quick question for you. So when you transition from what you're doing, it's really inspiring. What did you learn from sports that helped you, or did sports help teach you something that helped you get into the business world and just crush it like you're doing right now?
I mean, sports, I think teaches us a lot as far as discipline, you know, and attacking your goal. You know, for most of us that play sports, our goal is to make it to the NFL, the NBA. And, you know, when you take that same mindset to business, where you don't care if you miss a shot, if you miss 10 shots in a row, you're going to shoot the next one. And it's the same thing in business. Like when you go to meetings, you get 10 no's in a row. That 11th meeting, you get the biggest yes that you've ever gotten and you've been waiting for. So sports helps a lot, man, because it's competitive. You know, you got to fight. Business is even more competitive than sports, because it's on a larger scale, dealing with more people, different personalities. So it definitely helped me a lot, you know, transitioning into the business world, just to stay with it, stay motivated, stay positive. and just keep working every day.
Good question, man. Good answer. Go ahead, Aaron. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, darling. Sweet. Sorry.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted.
Oh, great. What's up? Thank you so much for your time today, Rob.
No,
Rob.
thank you, guys. Rob is cool.
Rob.
He's been called worse, I've heard. He's been called worse.
Oh my gosh. So, Rob, you know, when you want to win at, you know, such a great level, I mean, for one, making it to the NBA, being in the Miami Heat, and now, you know, kind of like transitioning into a different role in life, you got to have a big why. You know, at this point, like, it's no longer about you. So I'm just curious, like, what is your why?
My why, one is my family. I'm the oldest of my siblings, so I know they're watching me. I set the bar, I set the example, and I've always tried to just be great in everything I did and that I do, so they would know to do the same thing too, no matter what field they were in. Like one of my sisters is a doctor, my other sister, she's a teacher, my other brother works for Cisco, has a really good job, and they kind of have the same mindset, just to be great. And I think, you know, watching me growing up and, you know, seeing where I made it to, making it to the NBA, they saw how I worked. They saw how focused I was. I just tried to set the example for them. And, you know, I think I did a pretty good job, but, you know, it's still in progress, and we're still working. So,
You know, you bring up a good point, though, and that is that, you know, being an example for those who are watching but may not be following. And again, remember, guys, this is a good coaching conversation. You got to write that down. Is who else is watching you that you may not know? I mean, it could be your children. It could be your grandkids. It could be your parents. It could be your siblings. It could be your friends. It could be your family members. It could be, of course, your clients, whether you're a real estate agent or a real estate investment advisor or lending money or raising money. People are all inspired by others who are living a courageous life. And that's really important. So thank you for that question. Hey, Montel, what's up, man? Hold on, I'm unmuting you. Go ahead, buddy. Ken, there you go.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we had about 20 or 30 people in a different room, but you saw.
Hey, what's up, man? I hear Ken out in the background. Hold on one second there, sexy man. But Montel had a question. So go ahead there, Montel.
All right. What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Good to see you,
what's
Montel.
up, Montel?
Robert, I want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you doing this. And Rich, you know you the man. I appreciate everything that you do. I'm in the real estate game myself. I'm a commercial residential agent here in New York City. And also outside out of the boroughs. I actually live in Westchester. So, but my question to Robert today, I hearing all your stuff, and I know about you because obviously being a Heat fan myself, as you see, my office is decorated in the red, white, and black. I miss home. You know, I'm from Aventura down there, so of course, you know, it's always important to rep as much as possible. But my question, Robert, is to you: when did your passion for obviously what you're doing currently? Obviously, everybody has visions and what they're trying to do, and what you want to look down the line as far as what you see yourself doing down the line. Obviously, you know, it was important to do NBA, but did you start doing that feeling that this is the time to start transitioning at an early age? I know for me, I've always wanted to be in real estate since I was a little kid, and it's something I just kind of stayed with, and I kept pushing forward to. Is that something that kind of motivated you then, or was it when you hit the league and you were like, you know, I want to diversify, I want to start thinking about what I want to do down the line after my playing career is done? Like, what really started that passion for you?
So yeah, I mean, like I said, real estate was something I was always intrigued by, and it was something. Once my career was, I always felt like once I retired, I'll just get into real estate in some form or fashion. But I said earlier, I tore my Achilles,
right,
and that forced me to have to think about life after basketball. And I was like, this is the perfect time to start studying for the real estate exam and, you know, get my license. I have a pretty large network, and, you know, I live in Miami. It just makes sense. And that's when I started to prepare myself to get my license. And now I'm here, and I'm doing real estate. I'm a realtor, and I love it.
Awesome. Well,
you know,
kudos to you.
before I go, thanks, Montel.
No
I
problem.
appreciate your love, man. I'm there for you, buddy. Before I get over to Steve Druth, who's got a question for you, Robert, one of the things I want to make sure I really underline for everybody here is that in spite of being, a former NBA player, and aside from being in the Big Three right now and an active real estate player in the world of Miami, you never stop getting out there. I mean, you're at all the events, you're shaking hands, you're promoting other people's events and gatherings, you're promoting speakers, authors, motivational commentators. I mean, there's no shortage of you not just being a part of highly promotable events, but promoting others. Is that not true?
Very true. I want to see everybody win first and foremost. And then for me, especially down here, I know if people don't see your face, if people don't see you active, if they don't see you working, they'll forget about you quick. And as a realtor, I've had friends, I've had people close to me that went and bought a house, went and did a lease on a building or a commercial spot, and totally forgot that I did real estate. And I bro, I do real estate. Like, oh man, I forgot. So I understand that if I'm not active, if they don't see me on Instagram, practicing real estate and putting up pictures, if they don't see me at different events, they'll completely forget about you and keep it moving on to the next person.
100%. I mean, that's why, you've got, if you do not know what to do about social media, if you don't understand Instagram and the importance of having a digital footprint, if you don't feel like you've got what it takes, hire somebody. Like Matthew Buchanan, who I know is in this call, is not only one of the geniuses that we often promote, but I'm really proud to call one of our allies. He's got it right. He's got a system. So you've got to do that, because if you don't come out of obscurity or practice what Grant always talks about, which is to exercise omnipresence, gosh, how are people supposed to find you? Especially in a time when it's easier to get out there. It's easier to get out there. And talking about getting out there, Steve Druth on the balcony of Miami, you're probably down the hall from Robert. What's up, Steve? You got a question for Robert?
I do. Thank you, Richard. Robert, don't know if we're neighbors, but certainly in the same city. And
sure.
Appreciate you giving us your time. So my question is, what's your specialty? Is it residential, acquisitions? Are you representing buyers, sellers, commercial, or are you an investor?
I represent mostly buyers, residential. And then every once in a while I have a few people that, that are looking for commercial stuff as well, but mostly high-end residential is what I really focus on.
Fantastic. I'm always looking for people who are confident that my peers trust to give referrals to. So
I appreciate you.
I'm going to add you to my referral list, because I do strictly apartment buildings.
Okay,
so,
dope.
A lot of my network, they like to buy property when they get a building in Miami. So they need a place to live.
Well, let's definitely connect after this webinar.
Fantastic. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
I love that. I love it, bringing people together. Ken, Jocelyn, that's what we do, right? We bring people together, doing things like this, making sure we're connecting the dots. But Ken's a big fan. We both share the same love for our dear friend, Juwan Howard. But Ken, how you doing up there?
Doing good, baby.
Doing well?
Doing good. Yeah, I'm doing great. Robert, thanks for being on. Good to see you today, my friend.
Nice to meet you, Ken. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Now, I know we had another question out here. Where would it, Ken, you had it handled right there. I think we got Brandon. Where'd he go? Was it Brandon Graham?
Yeah, that's me, man.
Hey, Brandon. Big guy.
What's up, B?
What's up, Rob, man? Good to see you, man.
You too, brother.
Well, man. Got a quick question for you. Congrats on the deal that you closed with that's big time. But I was going to ask you, since it took you about 9 months to close that deal, it takes a lot of resilience for you to be able to stay locked in on the goal, the end goal, each and every day. What are some tips or things that you do day in and day out to make sure that you keep the end goal in mind?
We worked on the deal when we needed to, but at some point the lawyers took over too. So I would just check in and make sure things were still progressing. But I was working on other stuff. I was working on other deals. I was working on other opportunities. I just stayed busy. And that's kind of how my life is. Like I'm always looking to do something. I'm always looking for the next opportunity, the next partnership, whatever it is. Whether it's just working out or just enjoying life. Like I'm just active. So I don't really have time to to be depressed if a deal takes 9 months to close. I still got to work because that means I wasn't getting paid for that deal till that deal closed. So I had to make money, and I stayed active.
So we covered that today across a number of different coaching calls. And I know, Samantha, I want to say something about your show, especially around finding the numbers and the financial truth, the metric truth around certain conversations. Because, I mean, Robert's no stranger to numbers. But before I go off tangent, is that, folks, you got to keep busy. Grant always talks about it. Like, if you're complaining about negativity around you and how things are getting you down, it's because you ain't moving fast enough. The faster you move, the less likely shit sticks.
Right.
I mean, it just won't stick. And so if you're complaining about all the people around you and the way they pull you down and the way things actually drag you and actually, in fact, are weighing on you, it's because you're just not, in fact, focused on bigger and more things and moving faster than the rest of the people around you. That's it. It's just a function of that. So that's a great question, B. I mean, because I don't know about you, man, but I mean, 9 months to close a big deal like that, a $24 million transaction. I can only imagine the handlers involved in that and all the other hands in your pocket and all the other people you got to pacify and make happy. I don't care if you call them family or brothers, man, but it's a balancing act, and it's enough to make anyone go insane.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay. So well done.
Great point.
Well done. Okay. Did someone just activate? I don't know, because Ken's co-hosting this with me. Was there one more question? Did I miss somebody? I'm just double checking here.
Hey, Richie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had after Brandon, we had another question here. Sorry, I lost it in the chat there. 1 second.
Well, Kevin gotten rid of all his toilet paper. I see that. That's good. That's good. Good to see Brent Roberts in the house.
Naran had a question.
Naran.
Yo.
There he is. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
How are you, man? This is awesome. Robert, you've obviously great to meet you. Thank you. My name is Naran Kulafingam, and I work with Richie and do a bunch of stuff. But when you transition from sport to other things that you have done and what you are doing right now, when you went through these transitions, who did you have to become in order to be successful in the next transition? Or did what you did in sport, in the world of sport, give you enough to do that? And if you did need to become somebody else, how did you generate that?
I'm still becoming that person. Sports helped me, of course, with the discipline, being competitive, and the perseverance. But I'm still becoming that business savvy realtor, businessman, entrepreneur, and it's a day-to-day progression. Like I said, progress, not perfection. I just try to get better every day, as a person, as a man, as a brother, as a son, like in every way. So that's just my focus. I can only control what I can control, and I'll let God handle the rest.
You know what I love about that, though, Robert? Your response, and I want you all to notice this, man. We're talking about a professional athlete, a guy that went pro. I mean, I got you, Yusuf. I mean, a guy who's surrounded by brilliant siblings. And I got you too, Ken. I saw that. My only other buddy here today. Good to see you, man. And this dude ain't happy. Robert ain't done. He's far from over. The best is yet to come, and he's a work in progress. And he's completely at peace, letting people know. He's completely comfortable being both vulnerable and authentic about those truths, because it ain't about being perfect.
Right.
It's about the path he's making the progress with. So, exactly. Man, God bless you for that. God bless you. I know Yusuf has got a question for you, man. Why don't we, all the way from Germany, yeah?
Nice.
Let's go. Let's go.
Wait, thank you. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? Thank you very much. So my question is sports related. Since I'm a sports psychologist, I wanted to ask you, like, how did the next level feel like once you got into the NBA? Like, what shifts did you have to make in your mindset to keep up with those guys and even get better than your competition?
Everything happened really fast. Basketball wise, that part was easy for me. I just, that's something I was passionate about. I love getting better. I love working on my game. So it just was the lifestyle was completely different, especially being with the guys that I played with my rookie year. It's just, those guys were vets. They had been around. So I learned a lot. And, it all came at me very quickly. and I had to adjust. And you know, it didn't happen my rookie year like I wanted it to, but I learned a lot that year and moving forward, and it helped me. Lessons I learned in my rookie year are still helping me right now. Just about how to handle life, how to adjust, especially living in Miami. And now playing pro in Miami, not just playing college ball, was a huge adjustment as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
My guy.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. So, Robert, as we wind down the conversation, so I can let you get back to the day you've gotten, the day that everyone else has got here, you know, let me ask you a quick question. What are you most excited about for yourself? Post-career, you're in real estate. We're in a digital age where people are wanting to learn, strive, and achieve more with great leadership and people like you. What are you excited about as you look forward and above and beyond the crisis at hand?
I mean, I'm looking forward to when this is over, you know, what the new normal is going to be. As far as talking about coronavirus and COVID. But after, I know real estate wise, I'm looking for a boom. Like I think there's going to be a lot of buyers. You know, when this thing is done, we actually have some buyers on hold right now, just waiting this thing out. But I think it's going to be a real estate boom because there's going to be a lot of real estate to buy. Some people are going to lose real estate, which sucks. But then you have an opportunity for a lot of other people to pick some real estate up. So I'm gonna be ready for that, and just looking forward to, you know, what comes in the future in the next year or two, where we go and how far we can build this thing.
So, do you mind if I share with people what we're working on together?
Of course.
So we got ourselves a relationship with a group that brought the test that is the gold standard for testing for COVID-19 and Corona. And the very first sport league in the world we're working on it to institutionalize it as the new standard for safe return to sport is going to be the big three, if Robert's got something to do with it. Now, there's two parts of this. There's two things about this. One is what a great way to, in fact, induce action, then to let the whole world know what's coming, but it's not yet done. That's the best way. That's called positive pressure. But number two is talk about a great way to understand that if proximity is power, then that power produces empowering moves. And I mean, that's the whole point. This guy's closing big deals. He's making big things happen, and it just does this, right? Being able to surround yourself. I know that I want to introduce you to Samantha Roberts. She's up there. She wants to say hello. This young lady just launched an incredible show. I had the privilege of being on it. I mean, everyone's got a lot of shows on here. I mean, Ken Jostens's got a great show, and Aaron Sarit's got a great show that I was on. But I just came off literally minutes before this show with Samantha Roberts. So she wanted to say hello to you. So Samantha meet my man, Robert. Robert, meet Samantha.
Samantha, how are you?
Robert, nice to meet you. Yeah, no, I love your story, and I love the impact of just really rebuilding yourself every time something new came at you, and really keeping that heart and soul to your family. That's a beautiful path to live, and it sounds like you have a lot of really powerful missions. So the concept on my show is just the storytelling by the numbers. It's kind of me figuring out how to navigate from former mute and reinventing my life as like an analyst, and how I can play with numbers and help people find their special path forward. And it sounds like you have a lot of that impactful empowerment built within you and your mission. So I guess Richie thought we should talk.
We should definitely talk.
Yeah.
We should definitely talk.
I got you guys. I missed one question. I know we got a couple minutes left. Robert, you cool with one more question from my friend here, Ronaldo?
Listen,
You good, big guy? All right, let's get it done. Hold on, big guy. I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? All right, cool. So just a little bit of background. I started an ATM business and also a Shopify business at Hite. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really put much attention into it. And then right now, I kind of got over that, kind of like, just let it go. And right now I'm trying to create a creative business. I guess what I'm asking is, what should I do? Like, if I'm starting from zero again, how do I get past, how do I get past you know, that I guess that barrier where I'm like I'm not consistently doing things, or yeah, I guess that's it. Sorry if it's confusing.
So you're looking to try to do something different, and you're having issues with consistency, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's mental. That's you making a decision to, first of all, stay consistent because you have a end goal in mind, and that should be what, like, you got to figure out what's your why. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it just to make money? Because whatever the reason you're doing it, that's got to wake you up in the morning and push you to go do what you got to do. And until you find that, you're going to be inconsistent. Like you have to really want it, because there's going to be days that you don't want to get up. There's going to be days you don't want to do the work. But those are the days you really got to make yourself and force yourself to go do what you're supposed to do. And sometimes those are the best days. Like I've had my best practices and my best games when I didn't feel like playing or didn't feel like practicing. But I made myself go do it. So you got to want it first and foremost. And then you just got to tell yourself every day, I'm going to show up, I'm going to do the work, and it's going to get better and better. And eventually I'll reach that goal.
And by the way, Robert, you know, it sounds a lot like, too, that's a perfect place that a mentor or coach plays.
For
because
sure.
as much as that all of you that might be a mentor, might be a coach, or you might be looking for one, the one thing a mentor or coach must always do, which is a real great telltale sign of having the right one, is they hold you to account.
Exactly.
You know, accountability is one of those big, big things. It's like having a workout partner. Half the battle is having you show up.
Huge.
And as Grant would say, you got to show up to blow it up. But he also would say you got to risk it to get the biscuit. So, you know, you have to decide on what you want. And that's what Robert's talking about. It's your why. But that why, which is your biscuit, maybe ain't rich enough. It ain't sweet enough. It ain't what you want enough. And therefore you ain't getting it. But Robert, I think what you did was you achieved such a high standard of accomplishment in the world that you said, you know what, I can't lower my standard. That's why the way you do real estate, the way you do big threes, the way you did Miami Heat, the way you played with Shaq and D Wade, and I mean, all of them, Mr. Morning, the rest of them.
Right.
That's so funny. Every time I see Morning, I always call him Mr. Morning. I don't know why, and I still just said it. I just called him. I'm so funny. He's the only one I call Mr. So hey, listen. I know Matt wanted to say something to you because he's calling it all the way from the UK. He's one of our dear friends and our associates, Mr. Matt Solkis. Why don't you say hello to Robert Hite, Matt?
Hey, Robert. Awesome to have access to you on this call, and hearing your passion as well for the real estate space, which is space I'm involved in too.
Nice.
What I was going to ask, actually, off the back of Richie's question, I was going to ask you about habits and routines. What do you feel have been some of the core habits, standards, and routines that you have held since your Miami Heat days that have held in good stead now in real estate? Which ones have transitioned through for you, and what do you feel is a non-negotiable for you today?
For me, just, you know, being disciplined is huge for me, as far as like when I set my mind to do something, or when I make a decision, or if I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I follow through. Because your word is everything. So especially in real estate, because it's a relationship business, you know, when you tell somebody something, you got to stick to that. And you know, since from playing sports to now doing, you know, real estate, you know, I really just try to, routine wise, I first of all, I try to stay in shape. I work out pretty much every day. And I try to stick to some sort of schedule. But, you know, for me, just being disciplined in my decision-making and being purposeful in the things I do and the places I go, you know, always having purpose in that. You know, of course we can have fun, but even in having fun, I'm networking and I'm looking for other opportunities. So, you know, just being disciplined and focused on, you know, what it is I'm trying to accomplish, and sticking to those little things I tell myself every day that I'm going to do, and getting it done. Because that mentally, that actually, it rolls over to other things. Like if you just tell yourself, I'm gonna get up and work out at 9 o'clock every morning, and you do that, it'll translate into something else in the business world, or because now mentally you program your mind to stick to your word. And, that's huge for me.
Awesome.
Good question. Good question, Matt.
Toughness.
Awesome, man. And by the way, to your point, Robert, one of the things that you want to in fact write down, especially as you're a coach or a mentor, is that if you're going to get to be hired to hold people accountable to things, it's not just the act of being in action, it's intentional action. So what Robert's talking about when it comes to discipline comes with having to exert more effort and force to accomplish something more than average. Because if you ever get a chance to shake this man's hand, if you ever had the privilege of breaking some bread with him, if you ever get a chance to even work out alongside, there ain't nothing average about him. And that ain't a byproduct of just calling it in. That's a byproduct of having immense discipline to be more than average. Y'all get that? So one great last statement coming in from Robert Hite himself. Robert, tell me, what is the number one thing that you are most grateful for, the gift you've got, the blessing you have beyond life itself at this particular moment in time, a very questionable, uncertain, and daunting time. But what's the one thing that if you want to share, it doesn't need to inspire, it doesn't have to empower, it doesn't have to be right, it doesn't have to be wrong, it just has to be yours. What are you most grateful for right now?
Peace, man. I'm really at peace right now, even in these crazy times. Just because of who I am, I just know everything always is going to work out. No matter how bad it gets, how good it is, like I really just try to stay steady, no matter what's going on in life. And I'm really at peace right now and where I'm at in my life. And that's huge for me because there's so much craziness going on in the world right now. And I don't have any worries. And that's a testament to my faith too. I'm huge. I'm very spiritual. So, that's big for me.
No, I got you, man. I got you. Well, listen, man, on behalf of every single person in this room, you got people all from across Canada, all across America, people over the pond and in and across Europe. We are so grateful for the person you are, the athlete you remain, all the work that you've done, not just in the NBA, but the big three and the things to be. I am so grateful to not just call you a friend, but I'm so proud of the work that you're doing and how inspiring that the things you do are byproducts of perseverance, resilience, and consistent belief and greater good. We love you. We're praying for you. And we want you to know that we're rooting you on, man. So on behalf of everybody here, we're giving you a big love, lots of love, man, a big 10X love. And Robert Hite, everybody is leaving the call. Robert, I'm going to circle back with you, but folks, have yourselves not only just a powerful day, don't remain ordinary. Go ahead, my man. Go ahead. I spoke on top of you. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put my IG handle in there too in the chat.
Please do. Please do. Put it in there right now.
If you want to follow me, yeah, I'll put it in there right now. Hold on 1 second.
The one thing he's not good at is typing. Don't you all notice that? He dictates most of his text.
Yes. This is ridiculous.
I'm totally teasing. Here, I got him. It's Rob O. Flight.
Yeah, I'll put both of them in. I have two, so.
Y'all got that? Oh, Flight Hite.
Rob Flight Hite.
That's
Rob
it,
Flight Hite. Yeah.
Hey, Rich, I got a question real quick. Can I bust him on a question, or is he gone? He's already gone.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Hey, any plans on getting your broker's license, or are you just going to be a realtor for the rest of your time?
It's a good question. No, I actually plan on getting my broker's license this year.
My God.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I smell a new narrative brewing.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, y'all, you're
great minds think alike, baby.
I love it. I love it. We love you, Ken. Thank you for that. Hey, we love all the questions you all got. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much, Samantha Roberts, Naran. Thanks for joining us from the Dominican Republic. Flash. Good to see everyone from across the country. Montel, stay safe. B, we love you. Matt, Helen, Eric Laflamme, Danny Janot, Beverly Hills in the house. From Christian Gomez, Jerry Rakowski, good to see you, man. Brent Roberts, as always, my good dear friend, Randy Dick from Tasso, looking solid.
Randy.
Everybody from coast to coast. Of course, Nancy Forlini, Patrick G, Dave Slater, and Nikolai. But more importantly, you. Each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Nima. Thank you, Angela. Thanks, Vicky. Also known as Victoria. Jesselyn. God bless you all. Stay safe. And more importantly, stay 10X, everybody. God bless. Be well.